The comments in this video really show how chronically online a lot of people are. Now, this video it's quite a cool video, right? There's two guys having a conversation, sharing, learning about doing this exercise. And a lot of the comments here are focusing on how much of a wholesome interaction this is, how much of an amazing thing this is that these two men are doing, that should be replicated more by men all over the world. People longing for this type of social connection, using being introverted as a reason to why they can't have this same experience. And to me, that only says you spend too much time on your phone, because in the real world, the physical world, the tangible one, these sorts of interactions happen all the time, right? This one happens to be on your feed because one of the guys was videoing himself in the first place. There are so many opportunities for this to happen, right? I was walking yesterday and I walked past this elderly couple. They were holding hands, and I noticed, oh, that's cool, they're holding hands. And then about 20 minutes later, when I was coming back, they were coming back and we passed each other. And I noticed from afar they were still holding hands. I thought that was quite cute. But they were walking and they were in perfect sync. Left leg forward, right leg forward, right leg forward. So they were perfectly synced there. And then in their free hands, every time they took a step, her hand was back whilst his hand was forward. They were in like this perfect balance of equilibrium as they were walking. And I stopped them. I just put my hand up as I walked past. I said, you two are in complete synchronism with each other. And they kind of chuckled and like, what do you mean? And I explained it to them and they had a chuckle. I had a chuckle, and we finished and off they went. About 3 weeks ago, my missus and I went for a walk along the same footpath. And this German guy stopped us. We spoke, I checked on my Strava, we spoke for 25 minutes. Right, this German bloke, he was in his 80s, and he thought our cultural tattoos were quite interesting. He was very intrigued, and he stopped and he spoke to us, and we talked about all sorts of stuff. 25 minutes. Now, if that was on a video, if I had my camera out, if I had my Facebook glasses, which I don't own, and I had them turned on, I probably could have recorded that, and you would have said, wow, what a wholesome interaction between this old man and this couple. Wow. No, it's not that wholesome. It's only wholesome because you spend too much time on your phone, and you are constantly fed the drama, the divide that exists between man and woman, young and old, left and right, and all you see is problems, to the point that when you see a normal interaction in real life, you think, oh my God, this is amazing. How do they come up with this? How do these people figure out this stuff? How do they get so socially intellectual that they can just have these conversations off the top of their head without thinking, without needing to be performative, without needing a script? I'm telling you, in the real world, that just happens. And look, I'm of a vintage that I remember a world before the internet, right? Part of my childhood was internet free, computer free. My entire world was through that period. Fast forward, I also remember a world before social media, right? And I do worry, even for my own kids' sake, which is why I'm making this video. For those that have only known the internet, have only known social media, have only known this, your mind is completely primed to see the world through the lens of the camera. Not the lens of the camera, the lens of the screen, right? And everything online is competing for your attention. How do things get your attention, right? How do animals, how do they find mates? Those birds, they do little dances with their tails and they spin around. Flowers, the natural world, flowers grow these beautiful colors to try and attract the bees, right? What do you think social media and your phone is trying to do? It's trying to just send you constant rage, constant drama, constant emotion. so it can get your attention. And if you constantly watch that 6, 7, 8 hours a day, you will believe that that is what the world is like. And I'm telling you, as someone that was around before the internet, before social media, this stuff still happens. You just need to go outside and interact with people. You don't even need to be doing something social. Like, a lot of you work. A lot of you have jobs. You interact with people, not just within your own team, but other people within your own organization, suppliers, customers. Like, you have so many opportunities to just have a conversation with someone. It's not complicated. You know, my biggest worry about this is the social isolation that some people have. They are only going to be preyed upon by the capitalists. They're only going to be preyed upon by the capitalists. That social connection, to believe that social connection, for you to have this sort of interaction that these two lovely men are having, it's only going to cost you $4.99 a month. That's all it is. It's cheap. I'm worried that that's going to be you, the sucker that will pay for the social connection. And it's already happening. All right, and don't get me wrong, I think there is value in some instances, paying to join a club, paying to join a group of people, right? There's value in that. The problem is when you think that these sorts of connections don't exist in the real world, and then the only opportunity you have to do that is to go and pay for them, that's when you're going to be in trouble. Your entire life is going to become a subscription, right? You are nothing more than a fat cow being suckled on by the calves of capitalism. I just made that term up. Look, I'm not a super extroverted person, all right? I'm actually an introvert. I do like my own time. I'm more introverted than I am extroverted. But my father growing up, every time I went out with him, and he did a lot of really unique things, and I spent a lot of time with him, especially during the school holidays, after school and stuff. He would always talk to people. And that's where I think I get it from. My kids ask me now, Dad, why are you talking to him? Dad, why did you talk to them? I took them for a walk the other day, and there were some boys fishing. They were probably teenagers. There was about 10 of them, maybe 13, 14, 15. Any bites, boys? Caught anything? Something as simple as that. And guess what? One of them goes, nah, nothing today. But check out this, 1.5 meter flatty that I caught last night. And then they all were like, yeah, it was sick, it was huge. Pulled out his phone, showed me this flatty. I talked about how I've taken the kids down there. We've never caught anything. And he was like, man, just keep trying because they're here. We talked about what he caught it on, when was the best time, the type. We talked about all this stuff. A random person in conversation with me, right? Not because it was wholesome, not because I'm wholesome, not because there's some amazing social intellect that I have. Kids crying, I've got to wrap this up. It's just communicating with people, right? Without being weird. And I get it. Some people don't know that. Some people haven't seen that. Some people haven't had that demonstrated to them. The video is a great example of how to do that, right? Just go and talk to someone without making it completely weird, all right? But don't fall into the trap of needing to pay for this stuff, okay? And put the phone down more often. Even if you have to, just observe. Go to the park, go to a busy park and just observe people. See if they communicate, especially parents. Parents will regularly talk because the kids just end up playing and then they've got something to connect over, right? It's about connection. I'm talking to the boys about fishing because I've been fishing. Fishing is now the connection. The video with these two guys, the thing that they're swinging around, that's the connection. One's doing it and one wants to do it. Connection, right? The old couple that I walked past, we're both walking and I just had an observation, right? It's not a weird out there observation that's going to freak anyone out. It's just a casual observation about how synchronized they were as a couple. It's almost like a reflection of their own love. There is one comment on this video, and the guy is like, "This is the ultimate bro interaction. Like you don't have to look for the interactions; just look for the opportunities to connect with people. That's what you need to do."